What kind of power does a name hold? Ezekiel Prixt, Elijah Pickford, Derceto. These names hide more than we know. Alone in the Dark is considered to be the first true survival horror game, although it predates that term by more than 4 years. Along with Sweet Home, it paved the way for Resident Evil. But let's address this game on its own terms. You play as either Edward Carnby or Emily Hardwood. Although Emily has more motivation, she's investigating the death of her uncle, this video will focus on Carnby, who will go on to be the main character of the series. Alone in the Dark pioneered the use of polygonal characters and objects set against pre-rendered backgrounds. This not only gets around the technical limitations of PCs at the time, but creates the opportunity to use cinematic and creepy camera angles. This is how we experience the mansion called Derceto, the setting of the game, which shows us its secrets as it damn well pleases. Although the majority of the game plays like a classic graphic adventure, with all of the frustrating inventory management that entails, Alone in the Dark makes the world feel more dangerous with combat. Throughout the mansion, you'll fight ghouls and zombie chickens. That's right, zombie chickens. Using a surprising combat system that lets you choose between overhead or side-to-side attacks. The combat never feels wonderful, but it's an unexpected flourish. What sticks out most about Alone in the Dark is its set pieces and puzzles. Each room holds new and surprising hazards, even if some of them are poorly rendered. That's the thing about early games like this, they don't have a pattern to follow, so they can't help but be inventive. Most rooms will kill you outright if you don't approach them correctly, but there are always ways to avoid or neutralize the mansion's dangers. A Gamasutra interview about the making of the game said that they wanted to make even the most mundane actions feel dangerous. When a wrong step can end your game, every step feels perilous. Throughout the mansion, you'll find notes that provide you with clues for the puzzles and give you the backstory of Derceto. It was built by a foul pirate named Ezekiel Prixt, who used profane rituals to live longer and get richer. He died in a Union attack during the Civil War, but his profane servants put his body in a tree in the tunnels beneath the mansion, where he waits and plots, looking for someone whose body he can steal so he can rise again and take over the world. This is what we see, time and again, whenever we die. If this sounds familiar, it's because Alone in the Dark is unashamed about cribbing its broad strokes from H.P. Lovecraft. Books mention Cthulhu in the deep ones. You'll read the Necronomicon and De Vermis Mysteriis, and either take damage or die as a result. It's shocking how much of a straightforward Lovecraft adaptation this game really is, but it gets less surprising when you find out that it once held a Call of Cthulhu license early in development. If there's any portion of Alone in the Dark that doesn't hold up, it's what happens beneath the house. When Carnby or Emily venture into the tunnels created by the vile Chthonian, things should get weirder and more esoteric. Instead, it asks you to use tank controls and adventure game commands to complete platforming segments. Platforming segments! Even the final showdown with Prixt, as tense as it is, feels like it's stretching the bounds of what a game of this type should reasonably ask you to do. But as the tunnels collapse and daylight breaks over Derceto, you realize that games that came later really rely on the best parts of Alone in the Dark, and generally toss out the parts that are maddening. The goofy future of the series is foreshadowed by the first game's unexpected and unnecessary twist ending. But it's easy to see that survival horror wouldn't have happened if Infogrames didn't pave the way. To read more about Alone in the Dark and other survival horror games, go to hexcrank.com. Thank you for watching.